Hey, this is Rydo, and we're back for another episode. I really wish I could fix it so it wouldn't push me. Every time I change the window, I alt-tab out. It puts me up here looking like this. I don't know why. I think it probably has something to do with the mouse cursor resets itself to the top left corner when you go into full screen mode in the game for Windows. But that's just speculation on my part.
Now, if you're part of control group Kepler 7, we implanted a tiny microchip about the size of a postcard into your skull. Most likely you've forgotten it's even there. But if it starts vibrating and beeping during this next test, let us know. Because that means it's about to hit 500 degrees, so we're going to need to go ahead and get that out of you pretty fast.
Oh, so apparently soapy water washes it off. I assume this is soapy water. Could be anything, really. I don't know why I'm making that assumption, really. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So, just going like that, it's not gonna work. Okay, let's see. There's a switch up here. Alright. So yeah, that washed it off too, even when it was on the surface. So I'm trying to think what this puzzle would have been if they didn't have the bouncy repulsion gel here. You would have probably just a wall here that would have been up and would have only come down when you figured out how to portal jump your way up, because that's what this is really replacing. Is a lot in the first game was about, you know, portal flinging yourself upwards and all that. It's not really happening much anymore, is it? So now we bounce ourselves up to this, and then a wall would come down or a doorway would open. So I can certainly see
telling them, keep
that.
your pants on. All right, this next test may involve trace amounts of time travel. So, word of advice, if you meet yourself on the testing track, don't make eye contact. Lab boys tell me that'll wipe out time. Entirely. Forward and backward. So, do both of yourselves a favor and just let that handsome devil go about his business.
If a future you tries to warn you about this test, don't listen. Time travel. It's boarded up, so there's a whole promise here that is not going to be fulfilled in this game, if I can be a little spoily. Time travel would have been a cool thing, even as just like a one cutscene thing that changes everything. In fact, if you did time travel at the very beginning of Portal 3, you could change everything and start over and basically do the exact same saga of Portal 1 and Portal 2, just changed, so it would be different. Yeah, there'd be some promise there, actually. Now we're getting little drips of the stuff, and so it's not. Took a few of them to paint that area. I hit the wall and bounced back, I think. That's what it did. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to stay right here. Then I want to jump here. And then jump down here. In the Talos principle, to talk about the Talos Principle again, since I'm not talking about that much, we can certainly compare. In the Talos Principle, you do get into back areas that are kind of like this, but only for very few puzzles, and it has the appearance, but no Cave Johnson or any equivalent of that. Really, nothing that's that interesting. Being in this area alone is not super interesting. It just keeps the game a little more spiced up for as many puzzles as we're doing. Which, how many puzzles have we done, really? We're at like 40 or 50, I think, at this point. Because we did like 7 before we started the puzzles on. Then GLaDOS started us over, then we did 21 with GLaDOS started us over, and then there were several puzzles that involved defeating GLaDOS, and now we've done several puzzles here. So we're somewhere between 40 and 50. Almost if it's hard to know which puzzles to count, which puzzles not to count sometimes, but yeah. So we have the Fizzler here, but that's not the end of it. We actually need to catch this. So we're using a previous puzzle that we did. Not even the last previous puzzle, just this one before. Yeah, well, that was the last actual puzzle, but there was a puzzle in between. So now we're doing a puzzle in between again. So that's painted, all of that. I guess it's worth it just to paint all the areas, since we don't really know where we're going to end up and what we're going to end up doing. Just paint everything. So the Talos Principle certainly didn't have any repulsion gel, but it did have the design of a backstage area like this, and it did have a time function where you would record yourself doing actions and then play them back and basically cooperate with yourself in the game, which was a cool element. There was only about 5 elements in the Talos Principle altogether, and the selection was a little varied. You had let's say you had the connector, you had a platform, you had the time element, you had fans. No fans in this game, in Portals. Interestingly enough. No, like blowing air fans that would lift me up. Instead of using fans, we have repulsion gel and portal flings. So I guess you really don't need the fans in Portal. They both had cubes. Alright. So it seems like a lot of that was not necessary to paint with the paint. All I had to do was paint that one corner. Turns out there are no connectors in Portal like in Talos, but there are the cubes that redirect lasers, and that is close to exactly the same thing. Obviously the Talos Principle was influenced by Portal 1 and Portal 2, but I wouldn't say it was a direct and complete rip-off of the game. or anything. It certainly put its own spin on it, and that's fine. That's fine. It's fine to be influenced. Everybody is influenced by everybody else. It's foolish to say you created your thing in a vacuum. Maybe legally it's required that you say things like that, but we all know the truth.
If you're hearing this, it means you're taking a long time on the catwalks between tests. The lab boys say that might be a fear reaction. I'm no psychiatrist, but coming from a bunch of eggheads who wouldn't recognize the thrill of danger if it walked up and snapped their little pink bras, that sounds like projection. They didn't fly into space, storm a beach, or bring back the gold. No, sir, we did. It's you and me against the world, son. I like your grit. Hustle could use some work, though. Now let's solve this thing.
So I guess I took too long on the catwalks. On the catwalk. Not gonna sing that song. Alright. So there is a grate on both sides of this. So this is actually kind of cool. I could understand, and I think when I first played this I was pretty much confused as to what they wanted us to do. It doesn't make a lot of sense. You have these glass particle, this glass box, and a box inside, and you have this blue stuff. So it's hard to think that they want you to paint the cube in the blue stuff. But that's exactly what they wanted to do. This thing will just bounce around everywhere. So, wash that thing off. So the cube will break this glass. Apparently all the glass in the previous facility is a stronger shade of glass. Is this? If you just get it hard enough, it's breaking it. There were times when I tried stuff like that and it didn't work. Even the glass in the broken down facility at the beginning of the game would not break if you ran the cube into it. Now, a little bit of a mistake, I think, having the color of the repulsion gel be blue. Because there might be some thought that that connects to blue portals. That there would be, that orange portals might not work on a, just might not work on the blue paint. So notice I had to paint the cube again with the blue paint to convince it to get off that switch so it would lift me up. And it's just gonna bounce around forever. So we've definitely learned a new concept today, is that these old-fashioned cubes can bounce if you paint them with the blue repulsion gel, and they will bounce forever, and that bouncing forever will help us. And also we can wash them off.
Science isn't about why, it's about why not. Why is so much of our science dangerous? Why not Mary save science that you love so much? In fact, why not invent a special safety door that won't hit you on the butt on the way out, because you are fired? Now you test subject, you're doing fine. Yes, you. Box your stuff. Out the front door. Parking lot. Car. Goodbye.
Cave Johnson, not the type of person you want in charge of a science facility. Why not? No bouncing cubes in the Talos Spencer. Anyway, so we're done with this episode. As always, I ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of the video. I hear the ice cream truck outside, so it's probably time for me to go get some ice cream. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Google Plus or Steam or Battle.net, all that information is down in the notes. And we are done here. I'm gonna go get some ice cream. Have a good evening.